Hello, I've just been to see Breaking Dawn and I couldn't wait very long before I gave a review on what I saw. I just want to let you know before I start that I will be talking about some scenes that are exclusive to the movie, so if you don't want to know what happens in those scenes, don't continue watching because I will be talking about them. Although I will just say in passing, if you're just interested in my general overall opinion, I thought it was great and I thought it was a really good interpretation of the book. Okay, now for the details. I'll start with what I didn't like first. I thought that the dream at the start with Bella dreaming about that, I understand why you didn't make it about the baby, because you didn't really tell the story of the immortal children at that stage. I get that. But I thought making Edward the bad guy with blood in his mouth at that stage was not a good idea. Perhaps it might have been better, given what Edward had just been saying about Bella possibly becoming, you know, evil herself, becoming a vampire. It would have been better if it had been more on her. But, you know, that's just a little thing. What was the other thing? There was another thing that I wasn't that fond of. Oh yes, of course, the wolf pack conversations in their heads. Although it worked better than I imagined it would, I think the echo you put in did help with the atmosphere of making it come across successfully. Unfortunately, it also made it difficult to understand them. And I thought that that was a major drawback with that, again, because you know, it was difficult to understand what they were talking about. There were a few spots like that in the film, actually, where I thought that things were covered too quickly, that someone who hadn't read the books, and admittedly, there aren't going to be a lot of people like that, but there are going to be some. A few people may not have understood the significance of some of the things that were being talked about because they were being passed over too quickly. And I felt that that was the case. With the Wolfpack conversation, it was difficult to understand what they were saying, and it was something that really needed to be clear at that point, so I really didn't think that worked so well. Excuse me. Also, I think that at the end with the when Jacob says he's imprinted and the impact that that has on that scene at the time, I really think, you know, I actually think that the Wolfpack voices might have worked better at that point than later, or perhaps if Jacob had just said it themselves, because I didn't think it had the same impact with Edward just saying, oh, he's imprinted, and I thought that that was kind of boring. By the way, I just realised that Edward didn't throw Jacob. It must be in number 2. What a disappointment. I've only just realised that that wasn't there. Oh, hopefully you cover that back at number 2 because I want to see that. What a shame. I've only just realised that I didn't see that. Rats! Unless it was at the very end of the movie. I didn't stay to the end of the credits. I stayed to the middle, so I saw the bit with Volturi. So if you're watching and you haven't seen it yet, don't leave when the credits start to roll or you'll miss a scene with the Volturi. But maybe there was a scene with Edward throwing Jacob, although I'm guessing you probably cut that. Not happy about that, if you did. Okay, what else? What did I like? What was the good bits? Well, of course, the wedding was absolutely phenomenally beautiful, and it was great, and I thought everyone did really well, and I liked Bella's hesitancy, and then when she sees Edward, everything's all right, and that was great. I liked you covering Edward being, you know, when he wasn't with Carlisle that time. I thought that was a very interesting viewpoint, and I love the fact that he's sort of uncertain at first. Well, not us who are in the know, but other people are uncertain as to whether or not it's the woman he's going to kill. I thought that that was cool. That was fun. And that was really good. I liked sort of, you know, getting that idea of why Edward hates himself. So I thought that that was quite interesting. And pregnancy was covered well. The honeymoon was great. Can't forget the honeymoon. It's funny, after everyone saying, oh, it's so erotic and explicit, I didn't think it was that explicit, which is fine, because I actually thought it looked very beautiful and loving. And I thought you had a really good balance in there, and I thought it really worked well. With what else do we... you know, and, of course, covering the pregnancy, all seemed very well, certainly all in line with the book. No dog bowl from Rosalie, but, you know, never mind. I thought that would probably be left out because it's such a minor scene, and there's so much to fit in. And that's another thing. I'm so glad you split it into 2, because I can't imagine what it would have been like trying to cram all that and more into one movie. Gosh, it would have been a real marathon. So that was really good. I would like to put a word out for people's performances. Kristen did great. One of the most realistic death performances I've ever seen. I know that it's generally said that it's hard to fake death, and I thought she did a great job, unless I suppose it could have been a dummy at that point, but it certainly looked like her if it wasn't a dummy, so maybe it was face replacement. Even then, I don't know what it was, but if that was just her, then she did an excellent job. You know, people don't usually do death very well. It's just like, looks like they're asleep, but you know, she looked like she was dead, so I thought that that was really good. Maybe it was a bit of CGI in that as well. I don't know how much, but certainly she deserves kudos for that. Edward was heartbreaking when he was trying to revive her. It was really beautiful. I didn't cry, but I did come close, and it was very beautiful. And I must so Rob and Kristen, as usual, did brilliantly, but I must give a shout out for Taylor Lautner. I think that his performance was excellent. I've had, you know, trouble with Jacob, certainly, before, but I thought that he really did well in this and showed his emotions excellently, and it was really good to see that. And I would like to thank Melissa Rosenberg for writing the script very well. It came across excellently. Bill Condon, if you're ever in Australia, I'll throw a shrimp on the Barbie. Please come around, because I'm really happy with what you've done. It was great, and I'm really looking forward to the second half, that is now, although I'm still not trying to get my hopes up too much for that, but yeah, I thought it was really good, and I was really so happy with the way it all came across, and thank you so much for persevering and getting it done for us.